Jeff, have you been involved with Age UK Exeter?
Roughly around 18 months now. I first attended here on the 10th of the 4th, 2013. So nearly 18 months.
So I know I met you quite early on.
Yeah.
So you started attending Tools Company, and we'll say a little bit about that in a minute, and the day service, which is based here. So tell us, Jeff, what you particularly enjoy about both. Maybe start with the Westex day service.
Well, with Westex, well, with both companies actually, but mainly with Westex, we have a very lively group. We laugh and joke, torment one another.
A lot of joking.
Yeah. Nobody takes offence. They give as good as they can take, which is good.
Tell us some of, you were telling me some stories earlier.
Yeah. Well, the one which I particularly like is a gentleman called Buddy, who belongs, joining the crew, and apparently he's been tormenting Rachel, one of the carers, about a cup of tea, and I don't know the ins and outs of it, but she wanted to get him back for this torment. And we all sit around this table, actually, we sat around the table, here, we sat here, and she served everybody with tea and coffee, and left Bud out. And Bud says to her, says, "Hey up," he says, "Where's mine?" She says, "Oh, I'm just getting it." So she brought him a cup, put it on the table in front of him. He put his sweetener in, he put his spoon in, stirred it up. Went to drink it, and there was nothing in the cup.
Oh.
So they didn't know what to say to that. They got a good laugh.
Nice. So tell us what you particularly enjoy about Tools Company.
Well, that's quite easy in a way. We're cleaning tools up, and when they get enough together, they put them in trades, as they like joiners, plumbers. They put them in together, and then they end up taking them out to Africa, which helps them in Africa to learn a trade and be able to earn their own living.
Very good.
And you said, that's a really important part of the project for you.
Yeah, it is. Because from as far back as I can think, I've always been there to help people. And when I got to the stage where I couldn't help anybody, I started to deteriorate. When Westex and many sheds of tool company lifted me out of that and got me back on in a position where I can come and talk to you.
Very good.
So before you were first introduced to Age UK Exeter, because I know you and May came in, and I think you talked to Sue Jenkins, and then she talked to me, and then it all kind of spiralled. Can you describe the sort of things you were doing at home then?
Well, that's easy. Sat in a chair, watching telly, twiddling around with my thumbs. And the only time I got up is when I wanted to go to the toilet. So I started going down and down.
So obviously you felt pretty down and useless. And
Yeah.
so obviously you don't feel that way now. So what would you say that the services have helped you do, or how have they affected how you feel?
Well, they've given me the confidence back which I had before, or some of it, not all of it, and just made me glad to be alive, basically.
That's the word. That just sort of, makes me feel great at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I just hear that once in a month. That's fantastic. So at this point, I'll just give a brief description of Tools Company. You said a lot about it already. So Men in Sheds refurbishes, repairs old garden tools and other tools. The old garden tools get sold and the money goes back into the project. And also now the chaps make all sorts of things like bird boxes and trugs and chopping boards and allotment boxes. And the clean tools, as Jeff said, get boxed up and sent to certain countries in West Africa where they get used for like bicycle repairs or small carpentry. So that link, which you were talking about, that's very important for you, is through another charity called Tools for Self-Reliance, who've been going for nearly 40 years. And that was a really important link we made in the early days when we started off up Men in Sheds 5 years ago. And Tools Company has started more recently, and it's about buddies from Men in Sheds working alongside chaps such as you, Jeff, who've got a bit more complicated physical problems, so you need a bit more space in the shed. So it's a smaller, less chaps going there, a buddy to sort you out, might just be pass you a tool or make you a cup of tea or just keep an eye on you. Not like glued to you, are they? But they're just around, helping out, passing you a biscuit, hopefully at the appropriate time.
That's when we have a cup of tea.
Yeah, there's a lot of laughter, there's a lot of tea, there's a lot of chat, there's a lot of putting the worlds to right, isn't there? It's very important.
And that's the Men in Sheds, is it?
That's the Men in Sheds and the Tools Company. The Tools Company is a smaller version and has the buddies who are volunteers from the Men in Sheds working alongside men who've got more complicated physical problems. There's a chap with a visual impairment, so he can't just be completely let loose in the shed. There's people with more complicated physical problems than you, such as quite severe symptoms of Parkinson's, so he needs a bit of space. So it enables people with more complex physical problems to use the Men in Sheds.
Where does that take place? Where's the shed?
That's
Where's
down
the shed?
Waterloo Road, and it's about to be open.
Every day?
So you go Mondays,
Yeah.
Tools Company's Tuesdays, Men in Sheds Wednesdays, Thursdays, and it's also starting Fridays. That it's building up, so that
Well,
was
they're two
from one
separate
half
entities
day.
there now, they Men in Sheds
Yeah,
and
kind of.
Tools
There's a
Company.
lot of overlap.
But they overlap.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are they both Age UK
Yeah.
projects?
Yeah.
And Waterloo Road is just up here on the right, isn't it,
Yeah.
somewhere?
You can just pop in and
Oh, it's
buy
lovely.
some tools.
Well, do you know
It's
what?
fabulous.
Or-
I love going in
There
there.
you go, or order something
Oh,
like
right.
a bird box
I
for
just go in
Christmas.
because it
Or,
just fascinates
Oh,
me.
right.
I'm sure.
And is it obvious where it is when you're on that road?
yeah.
Yes, Reagan
no,
Houses on
it's
building.
not that obvious unless you know
No.
roughly. You know where the fishery is?
On the corner?
Yeah,
Yeah.
down that side.
Oh, right.
If you look down there, you'll see a sign which says Men in Sheds.
Oh, it's
Okay,
there.
so
Ah.
Behind
Oh,
it's
fishes.
lovely.
Behind
Yeah.
fishes.
Uh-huh. I've
Can
just
I-
got
sorry.
something, sorry.
Just to say, we've just got a couple, just about day services, and then we'll come back to Tools Company. Just to say to people, what was your opinion of day services, or what did you think about day services before you started at the West Oaks?
I didn't think much of them, to be honest. I thought they was drugged up and sat around like zombies.
Yeah.
And obviously,
But when I did turn up, I found it a lot different.
yeah,
Hence, I'm here and doing this now. Whereas I wouldn't have been doing it otherwise.
So how often do you go out every day now, or only certain
no.
3 to 4 days?
No, I go to Men in Sheds on a Monday, I come here in this room on a Wednesday and on a Friday.
Oh, that's good.
Where did you go to your day services? When you said you went to day services, where did you go?
this room.
In this room.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got time for some questions then, for Jeff or for me.
Where are you getting your tools from now? Do you advertise and ask for people? Or they just appear, they come in?
We don't panic.
I mean-
They donated.
They are donated, good.
Donated.
Because
you
people
know.
have got to know
People
about
get
it
to
now.
know what we do, and they sometimes they'll ring up and say, I've got this and this and this, can you pick it up? Well, Malcolm used to go and pick them up.
Yes.
But now, I don't know, Malcolm's left the company, I don't know what's the situation will be.
we're in the process of recruiting, so we'll have to still be picking up tools. But you know, it was only in the early days when we started, we had to advertise. But quite quickly, as you said, that it just started to evolve, and certainly when I was initially involved with Men in Sheds, I would get at least probably 2 calls a week, maybe more. I've got a shed full, you know, my husband died a few years ago, I want to sort through the tools, you know, and they're just constantly coming in. And I don't think there's ever a shortage of tools. No. And you know, I've actually got a few of the spades and forks myself, and they're fantastic because they're old, and they've been sharpened over the years, and the chaps have repaired the handles, so you've got a really good quality tool for much less than in B&Q or something. Anyway.
That's a good question.
Of course.
My husband's got a fork that belonged to his father, who is no longer with us, and the chap he shares an allotment with managed to break it, and he's quite upset about this fork that's broken. Now then, could I bring it into you and pay you to fix it? How does it work?
Can you tell me what's wrong with it?
It's the handle, not the metal.
It's not the metal.
Oh, that's all right then.
If it's just the handle, yes, we can do that. We'll take the old handle out, put a new one in, linseed oil the handle because it'll be wood, so it gives a better life.
I don't know whether it is the handle or whether it's the shaft. But it's the wooden shaft. It's wood, you know.
Yeah.
Would you look at it?
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yes.
You can have it back. Yeah. Sharpen things. Yeah, we won't sell it. You can have it back. Yeah. That's the deal. Yeah, that's one of the deals.
As far as payment's concerned, it was just to give it in a donation.
Donation, that would be lovely.
Whatever you think. Same as the other week, somebody brought a little coffee table in, or folded down, and Malcolm didn't know what wanted doing to it, and I says, well, definitely wants cleaning up. So I cleaned it up and did it in a linseed oil, and as far as I know, the lady was satisfied with that, because she wanted it painting green. She just liked it as it was. And,
I was lucky, wasn't it? She didn't go,
Do you make a charge for the things you do, or do you rely on voluntary payment at the end of it?
yeah, the voluntary payment. Some of the tools have got prices on, but if you bring a tool in to be repaired, unless it's an extensive repair, such as like putting a new handle in, that is up to the person. Like yourself, bringing it in, and you make a donation for doing it.
That's useful to know.
Other people know about it. I've got 2 rusty saws that my daughter complains about. Supposing I put those in, and there may be other people with rusty saws and things that don't know about it here.
Don't worry about them being rusty.
Do you advertise?
you love rust, don't you? No, we don't really need to, actually.
It's a word about
I think you would like them, wouldn't you?
Clean them up.
Clean them up.
If you're particularly attached to them.
I told you they were very valuable.
Are there any other questions to Jeff or myself in the last couple of minutes? Yeah.
How often do you have them Men in Sheds or tools? Is it weekly or daily?
Well, I go on a Monday afternoon, but apparently there's one on a Wednesday.
It's every day now, not all day every day on Friday, but pretty much all day on the other days now. Usually men go to the tools company, usually for half a day, some of them go all day. It really varies, you know, you don't have to go for the whole day or half a day, it's quite flexible. You know, it's all voluntary after all, nobody locks you in. It's every week, it runs all the time, even when the coordinator's on holiday, somebody else will cover. I think perhaps just Christmas Day and Easter.
I've just got one last question, and that is, who came up with this idea? It's inspired, isn't it? I mean, does it go Is it a feature of other Age UKs in other
Yes,
No,
towns?
it's one of those things that happened all at the same time. I know that there's a sort of men's sheds movement in Australia.
Oh.
When I was involved, there were more and more people phoning up going, I'd like to start a men's shed, can you help me? There's lots of different ones in Age UK, not in Age UK, different age groups, doing different things. Each shed does something different. You know, we're unique and they're all unique because they're all either maybe wood turning, maybe making, maybe just with tools for self-reliance. It's a big variety. But I couldn't, I think it was Nicola and Will, but I'm not completely sure who came up with the idea for us because it was just before I started working here. But I have a feeling it was Nicola and Will.
Brilliant, brilliant idea.
Thank you very much, everybody. We
Yeah,
better
thank
break
you.
before the next one. Thank you.